we're talking to Sandy in Florida. Hello, Sandy. Good morning.
Hey.
So your mom has sciatica, inflamed or some kind of sciatic nerve irritation, and she doesn't want to sit down or go to the bathroom. I assume she doesn't want to sit down in general, right? Probably hurts when she sits. It's pretty miserable. So the sciatic nerve runs down the back of the leg, starts at the lower part of the spine, and runs around the buttocks and down the leg. And it's not unusual for this part of the body to get inflamed for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's chemical inflammation, and number two, there's mechanical inflammation. Over the course of time, as the way we walk changes, the way we hold our body changes, not to mention the fact that our spine starts to degenerate, compression can occur in that area. So the first thing you want to think about is mechanics. If I had an issue like that was that severe, Sandy, I'd be going to a rolfer or a chiropractor that does adjustments, and they can manipulate that area. If there's a mechanical compression in there, that needs to be released. That's not a nutritional issue necessarily. There's also a wonderful form of body work called rolfing, R-O-L-F-I-N-G, rolfing. Funny name, but started by a lady named Ida Rolf, and it is amazing. I mean amazing for dealing with any kind of structural defects or structural disorders. And it sounds like this is very likely for your mom. How old is she, by the way?
She's 73.
Oh, almost guaranteed she's dealing with that. Now, rolfing can be a little bit intense. It's a good intense, though, because when you're done with it, it feels awesome. I'm not sure. She might be a little bit fragile for rolfing, but you'll have to go to a rolfing therapist to determine that. Certainly a chiropractor. I would be going to a chiropractor at the very least. Now, at the age of 70, guaranteed she's got other health challenges. The sciatica may be the most prominent and the most dramatic, but she's got to have other stuff going on. It would be helpful for your mom to keep track of them. It's unlikely, in my experience, that people in their 70s they just want relief.
I'm on the phone!
Okay. So, is that your mom?
Yeah, that's my mom. She's in a lot of pain. She's like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, poor thing. In the meantime, I don't, when you have that kind of severe pain, you might want to try a cortisol shot. But don't rely on them because they're not great, but they do help with pain. Do you know about those? Has she had one yet?
She's been begging for one, but no.
You know what?
I'd rather not go to a doctor at this point.
Of course not. But, you want to be...
You
want to be logical and rational about this. I don't like drugs any more than than you do or anybody else does. But the fact is, when a 70-year-old woman is in that kind of pain, a cortisol shot can give her dramatic relief. Don't depend on it. That's the problem. The relief is so dramatic, we depend on it. So maybe a cortisol shot, and then have her find somebody who can manipulate to resolve the decompression. Now, under ordinary circumstances, I would have you doing a food diary, looking for problem foods, looking for foods that cause the problem to get worse. Because all of this is going to have an impact on how well she absorbs her nutrition.
Well, but she stopped eating. So she hasn't been eating for 2 weeks, and
because she's in pain?
She had eggs, she had diarrhea. When she had spinach, it stayed in, but then 2 days later she had diarrhea. So
Sandy, she's got a problem. It's not a sciatica problem; it's a digestive problem.
Yes, it is.
Get her on some. Like I say, I could give you the full-blown protocol, but it's unlikely she's going to want to do it. So let me just tell you what I would be doing in a perfect world, what she should be doing in a perfect world. Okay.
Okay.
Number one, looking for foods that cause digestive problems and not eating them. Eggs are not, it's not unusual that eggs would cause a problem. Proteins in general can cause a problem. Have her use her ultimate enzymes with all her meals, and have her using the ultimate enzymes between meals as well on an empty stomach. That will help with the inflammation. The Nightly Essence probiotics, have her eating as little as possible, but eating nutrient-dense foods, particularly vegetables, and particularly fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, if she likes sauerkraut, or any fermented vegetables. Have her do liquid nutrition. Bone soup can be very helpful for her, not just because it's liquid nutrition, liquid protein, but also because the proteins can help with the joints and the spinal cord particularly. So bone soup. Aloe vera, that can be very soothing for the gut, or noni juice for that matter, can be soothing for the gut. If you don't have a Vitamix, get one, or a NutriBullet, or a Ninja, something that keeps then you make her vegetable juices and vegetable soups. Okay, vegetable juices with the fiber, and vegetable juices and the fermented foods. Have her using the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, sipping slowly and small amounts, because it'll give her some diarrhea probably.
It does.
I figured. So you got to have her sipping on it slowly, and have her do it with food. It will help her if she does it with food. This is for everybody. This is a common complaint about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. If you get diarrhea or cramping or bloating after it, it's a sign of malabsorption, and it's an important sign because it means you're not absorbing your nutrients from food either. So you want to address this. If you bloat from or have digestive discomfort or diarrhea from the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, that's an indicator of malabsorption that needs to be addressed. So using her Beyond Tangy Tangerine with food, using her Beyond Tangy Tangerine in smaller doses, and sipping on it slowly. Okay. Also have her doing anti-inflammatory nutrients, particularly the Ultimate EFAs, 9 capsules a day, magnesium, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day, vitamin E, you have to go to the health food store and get that, 400 international units a day, and something called alpha lipoic acid, which is wonderfully anti-inflammatory. We're going to talk about that tomorrow because it relates to carnitine. Maybe 400 milligrams or so of alpha lipoic acid. And if there's any weekend warriors or athletes out there, everything I just told Sandy is very good for you if you're dealing with inflammation, post-workout inflammation as well. If she can keep her sugar intake down, that would be helpful, and going ketogenic would be definitely in her interest, and keeping her caloric intake down in general is a good idea. Carb intake down and caloric intake down.
I've been giving her a lot of the glucose gel.
That'll help as well, but in the long run, that's not going to help her with the immediate pain, and that is, I've seen people with sciatic pain. It is awful, 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 and so all of the things I told you about will work in the short run. The glucose gel caps are important in the long run, but the bone soup has the nutrients in the same nutrients as the glucose gel, but in a liquid fashion that'll be easier for her body to process. Likewise, my bone broth protein, by the way, too. She might want to try that. All right, that's tons of information for you. Good luck to your mom, and God bless you. I hope everything works out. Thanks for your call, Sandy. Take care.
Thank you a million times over. Thank you.